to Duval County, and I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad to see you there. Thanks for joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D's on the other side of the glass. Nina's back. How do you like that? Nina's in the breaking news room, and she's like, I'm going on vacation, and you're not going to know where I'm going, and I'm going to be gone for a long time. Right, D? Isn't that how it went? I'm going on
I thought that was her talking right there.
That's my Nina impersonation, because not a lot of people get to hear or see her, but it's I'm going on vacation, and I'm going to leave, and I'm not going to tell you where I'm going, and then you're going to have to figure out where I'm at, and if you need anything, I'll see you when I get back. I like that. Anyway, so she's back. Sorry about that. I'm sorry that she's back, but I'm sorry that I did the whole voice thing. At FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Coming up, we had a great night on Friday night. Tucker Carlson in town for the International Order of T. Roosevelt celebration. Big event that went on. I'm going to talk a little bit about that coming up. And also, the Democrats are just a hot mess. And it's really, really bad, especially when you pretty much have people teasing and hinting like, look, if you are like 112 years old, like some people that we pretty much know, exactly, that maybe it's time for you to just back away from the politics. You've done enough, and so Chuck Schumer was kind of asked about that a little bit. He's not going anywhere. It's pretty funny, and he's going to have a primary very soon against AOC. There's no doubt. In case you're wondering, AOC is going to run for president of the United States. She's already setting it up. D, wasn't it on Thursday that we played that video of AOC and it was like...
Yeah, it's so obvious.
It's so obvious. Like, I was a small girl growing up. Like that kind of thing. It was, what? Yeah, and it's so obvious. And then you bring Bernie into it, which, you know, trying to bring all the Bernie people in and on board. Not that he's going to run with her, but he's going to be out there with her. Because they're both social communist Marx. They're both Democrats, so they'll help each other. That's how that works. So we'll talk about all of that in just a second. Let me just say this: the Tucker Carlson event was fantastic. We had a chance to meet with him. Obviously, when we were there broadcasting live, we talked about it. Had a chance to have my priest, my godfather, my Father Paul from St. Paul Orthodox Christian Church in Naples, where I live, Southwest Florida, and it was great to watch them. D, I didn't even get a chance to tell you this. This is no joke, and I'm not exaggerating, and he probably doesn't want me to mention this, my priest, but I'll just say it anyway. You couldn't separate the two of them. They were talking, and the girl would come up and say to Tucker and say, "We've got to move on now. We got to move on." He's like, "Okay," and they kept talking, and then we're moving into the room, and Tucker's still talking to him, kind of half following him because they're having this great conversation back and forth, and she's like, "You can't leave. There's people waiting to talk to you." It was awesome. It was so cool. And we had a great night, and then there are a couple of things that were said throughout the evening. And one in particular that has made some headlines, definitely made headlines at flvoicenews.com, about left-wing environmental groups. And it was something that Tucker said, and I'm going to play the audio, and then we're going to discuss. Because, you know, it's one thing for somebody to come out in front of a group and throw fire like the governor's paid off by those environmental leftist groups. And it's another thing to say, whoa, wait a second. Nobody's paid off at all. And then it's another thing to say, well, hold on a second. Nobody's ever asked that question. And then have the debate and discussion. And look, I, again, just want to kind of talk this out because we have to, all right, let me just not say we, let me just say me. I am the type of person that, especially now, these days, with the kind of transparency we have seen, thanks to the Trump administration and thanks to everybody who has demanded transparency because of all the lies we were told about Russia collusion hoaxes and perfectly fine phone calls and impeachments and, hey, the FBI and CIA, they don't do bad things. Wait a second. I got a whole list of things that they're doing, and I'm kind of worried about this as far as the institution and the rule of law and the republic that we are and transparency. And so forgive me if I'm a little not sure about everything as it stands when it comes to someone who is a politician who says something and then we're just supposed to take it at face value because we like them. It's not personal. It's just political. Nothing's personal. It's political. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I just don't like certain things in the politics. And if it's not true, let's settle it. If it's true, we got a problem. And we fix it. We talk about it so we can fix it. Dee, does that make sense to you? I know I've said this before, but you're the ombudsman. And before we move on, I just want to double and triple and quadruple check. No sacred cows. Doesn't matter who it is. The reason why you ask questions about people is not because you don't like them. It's because politically you want to make sure we're all doing the right thing to push and continue to push conservative values no matter where you are, whether it's local, state, or national, and not do anything a little screwy in the background that nobody knows about, and to have somebody find out about something because you don't want to mess it up so you can give a gift to somebody that would like to destroy you. Like, don't do bad things. Do good things, and good things happen. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. And you can't be afraid of it. You can't be afraid of having conversations about certain things where it's like, I don't want to talk about that because it could put somebody in a bad light. Well, do they deserve to be in the bad light? Because if they don't deserve to be in the bad light, let's put them in a good light. And let's put the people who try to put them in the bad light in the bad light. All right. Listen, Chuck Schumer's a mess. MSNBC's a mess. You got Durbin, Senator Dick Durbin, a Democrat of Illinois. He's going to retire after 44 years. Can I say that again? 44 years. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think 44 years is like 3 years in Biden years. Is that how that works?
True international average of pressure.
Something like that. I forget how it is. But anyway, so Senator Dick Durbin is like, yeah, 44 years. I think I've done enough damage. I mean, I think I've made enough money. I mean, I think I've done enough for the country. So Dick Durbin's out. So Senator Chuck Schumer goes on to MSNBC, friendly territory, and he's being asked.
Now, staying with that, Senator, as the party contemplates its future, you yourself has faced recent calls to retire or at least step down as Senate Democrats leader. You've said you're staying put. Tell our audience why. Would you explain that, please?
I'm staying put because I have been able to unite my caucus in a very strong fight against Trump. And that's what we have to do. And I'm doing it every day in every way.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but really? You've got the caucus together? You mean all the ones that are hanging out right now on the steps of the Capitol? You have certain Democrats that are sitting out there to try to create this organic moment where people are going to be coming up and protesting, like that kind of thing, and really nobody is showing up. And the future of the Democrat Party, where like 20, people like a rash more than they like Democrats right now in Congress. That's kind of harsh. It's true, but it's kind of harsh. But anyway, was it 20-something%? I mean, it's approval rating. It's awful, and I love, and by the way, let me just say this other thing about Chuck Schumer before we go. Democrat. You can tell Chuck Schumer has been in Congress for like 50 some odd years or something, because when he's on a Zoom call or he's on MSNBC and he's clearly using his laptop or something like that, he's looking down at the keyboard, like the camera's in the keyboard, and the camera's like up on his face. Like all you see is his eyes. And you don't see his chin. His chin's cut off, and he's staring down at the computer, and it's like really close to his face. It's like, how long has he been in front of cameras, and he doesn't know how a laptop camera works? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. All right, that's kind of harsh. But anyway, there is a reason why he's not retiring. And it could be because he doesn't want someone else taking his place in particular. I'll get to that in just a second. And in the meantime, anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, the chair of the Republican Party of Florida is Evan Power. He's joining us right now on Florida's Voice. And we always love having a couple of minutes with him, especially when we can have some fun on a Monday. First of all, how are you?
I'm doing good. I have a much better setup than Chuck Schumer.
Oh, you do? What? You're not gonna? Please tell me you're not gonna lean into the camera and so I can only see like your chin or something, and I can't see your face. What is it? Oh, I thought you were gonna set up. What are you setting up, Evan? What are you setting me up for?
No, I was just making a joke about that. But okay. It's good to join you always.
Okay. I thought I'm sorry. Forgive me if I lead into you using Chuck Schumer. Like, that's a tough, Actually, it's pretty easy because, again, Evan, for the millionth time, it kind of proves to everybody how disjointed, how bad things are for Democrats nationally and of course, here in the state. And before we pivot to the state, let me just say this about the national politics, too. He's going to have to go against AOC, right? So you've got the old guard versus the new guard, and you think about the old Democrat Party, quote unquote, so I'm using air quotes, and then you think about the new party, which is AOC and the like. So that seems, some might say that's like a downgrade, but that is the grade. The grade is going down. It's not going up.
Well, you look at what's happened in Florida. The AOCs of Florida, Carlos Guillermo Smith, Anna Escamani, they're the ones running the party here. And that's why Senator Pizzo said that the Democrat Party here in Florida is dead. And I think that's the route that the Democrats in Washington seem destined to follow. And it only means bad news for them long term.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we played the audio of Senator Pizzo, who over, what was it, on Friday? I guess it was Friday. No, it was Thursday. Thursday when he said, basically, yeah, Thursday. He said that the party is dead. He's leaving the party. He's going to be an NPA. And look, probably the guy wants to run for governor. Who knows? And who knows what the reasoning behind it is? Or it could be genuine, which is this place is just broken, the Democrat Party, speaking of, in the state of Florida. But was that shocking to you? I guess, for many people, it doesn't surprise anymore because where's the wins? If you don't have them, then really it's about not just the party apparatus, but it's the Democrat Party itself. So what did you think about that? Were you shocked? Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. I think everyone knows the Democrat Party is dead right now. If you look at what happened, we had these big wins. They put everything into abortion. We beat both constitutional amendments. We won by 13 points. We shifted every county Republican in the last election. You look at what we did in the first quarter. We raised $5.9 million as the Republican Party of Florida. They raised $330,000. I told a reporter, can you even classify yourself as a real political party if you only raised $330,000 in Florida in a quarter? And I think Senator Pizzo answered that question. No, they're dead.
Yeah, right. There's probably a dude in Naples who could be like, I'm going to start my own party. I got that kind of money. I could do that myself. Anyway, but having said that, yeah, maybe bring back the Whig Party. But which I don't know if that would be bad. So when we look at this and then we think, okay, we always say, and Evan, I say this to you, and I can't emphasize it enough, we always have to make sure that we have fun at Democrats' expense, because it's fun, and usually it's true when we do it. But at the same time, we also can't be complacent. We also can't think that we cruise into certain times, whether it, 26 coming up, local races, the local, how important that is. Let's not forget about all of that. It really can be easy to think that this is good. We got the, we're fine. Everything is good. You've got to stay vigilant. You always have to stay vigilant.
No, I think the Republican Party of Florida works every day.
Yep.
I'm sitting here in the office registering voters, making sure our team is executing. I think you're going to hear an announcement for us later this week about property taxes and where we're going on a local level to keep that enthusiasm and fire going. But we're not complacent. We're going to fight every day. If you look at my Twitter or my X feed at Evan Power, you're going to find every day that I talk about our registration number at the top of the day. It's because we're registering hundreds of Republicans every single day. So the Republican Party grassroots apparatus is working, and we're not complacent. We're going to have big wins in 2026 because of that.
Yeah, I feel that's the case too. And And it only happens because good governance, that's the whole thing. When you deliver, that's when you're able to have people turn and look and say, this is where I want to be. Even some Democrats who are like, I know that's where I don't want to be. I don't want to be back there anymore. I wonder how many more might feel the same way as a Democrat. It's almost like a tough position to be in because, some people have bigger aspirations and they're looking at a bigger picture. And so they don't mind in certain places, which, by the way, walking away from your constituents like that is not cool. But at the same time, how many others there are that feel the same. I don't know. I don't know the answer. There is no answer. But again, it has to be deflating, but we've got to keep up the pressure.
Well, I talked to members of both parties, and you hear rumblings here in Tallahassee about how people are unhappy with their leadership at the legislative level because they've turned over their power to this fringe of their party that doesn't represent them. There's a lot of Democrats who are mainstream Democrats who do not believe in mutilating children. They don't believe in sexual indoctrination. They don't believe in any of that. But they're being stuck into this party and they're being led by people who believe that. And I think that we're going to see more and more big wins because I don't think anyone wants to register as a Democrat in Florida because they know the party's dead. They don't represent them. And I think what we're seeing now at the national level is if they don't have a message change, we're going to see what happened in Florida carry over to the rest of the country. But Florida always leads the way, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. And, sometimes all of this could... It's funny because it's almost like when you have certain things happen like this, like if you could take Florida and then make that national and see that happening all across the country in different areas where people didn't think before that Democrats could lose, it could be for the exact reason that we kind of hinted at, which is secretly there are people that don't like what the party's doing. They just haven't, the losses could make them bold enough to express how they really feel. Does that make sense? Because you could say that about Pizzo or a lot of other people, which is, listen, this is so bad that at this point, I have to express myself and say that enough is enough. Because you can't keep living that, if you want to say lie, you can't keep living like that if that's not really what you believe.
No, if you look at national registration trends on a national level, people are joining the Republican Party, I think, for that very reason.
Right.
You see David Hogg got elected vice chair of the Democrat Party. People don't want to sign up for that.
Right.
And I think this has a long-lasting impact for the Democrat Party unless they message shift. But I'm here for it. I'm excited for them to embrace this and let us continue to win. And I think we've got to take this Florida model that we've done and sell it to other states and continue to move, because that's the way we move our country forward, not going back to this past that's failed us time and time again.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Evan. So you're feeling good. You think the next couple of days, as far as taxes are concerned here in the state, we'll have some good announcements, some things coming up?
I think we're going to move ahead. I think let me put this in perspective.
Yeah.
What we're arguing over is billions of dollars in tax cuts that we're going to give to Floridians. No other state in the union, not Illinois, not California, not New York, are they having that conversation. So I think we're going to have good things when they finally get a budget together. And from from our state Republican Party, I think you're going to see an announcement how we're going to target some of these counties and ask them to give tax savings on to their people, because, property tax has not been fair to the average Floridian, and we need to give them relief this year.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, Evan, great to see you as always. We'll talk soon, okay? All the best. God bless.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll see you. Evan Power joining us on Florida's Voice, chair of the Republican Party of Florida, and we always enjoy having him on with us. And listen, talking straight, I mean, it's legit. Couple of things, and the first thing is we are really arguing about saving and doing something really good and how for the people of the state of Florida and how we're going to go about it. That's a good problem to have, ultimately. So you've got that side of it. I like Evan's perspective on that. It's like you realize what we're arguing about. And then as far as the property tax issue, and it's one that's been discussed before, you've got to be honest about that as well. Is it something that this particular cycle, right now, the big, bold moves, are they going to happen? Not the way everybody's talking back and forth, and some of the way that certain individuals are treating each other here as Republican Party members and the talk between the governor and the legislature. It's not exactly the environment for that kind of big, bold move. And, you know, you can blame whoever you want, but it is a big movement. So I guess that the thinking would be, and maybe we could talk about this more later on, but I think you could tell that the tease here and the consensus seems to be, look, it's going to be tax savings in some way, shape, or form for the citizens of Florida. Is it going to look specifically like certain individuals would like it to look like? Maybe the big and bold, maybe something that has to do with bringing down the income tax, or how we are going to how we're going to do things. The sales, did I say income tax? The sales tax. You know, are we going to just think a little bit differently? Probably. But yeah, D, can you tell I know it's the end of April. Could you tell I have income tax on my mind? I'm like, you know,
no.
Yeah, you know, there are some people that trying to get ahead of it. That's all. Or you're trying to, yeah, anyway. But that conversation came up recently with some friends. It's like, oof. All right. So we'll talk about that more coming up in just a little bit. All right. What else is going on here at Florida's Voice? Oh, I wanted to play this quickly. Let me see if I can get this in here. Here we go. You know, I bring up the AOC, Chuck Schumer, back and forth, the old guard versus the new guard, you know, the Marxist, the socialist, the communist. Actually, it seems like the old guard was like that. They were just good at keeping it under wraps. It reminded me of that video from way back when, you know, the AOC, I don't know why this got brought up to my mind. I guess because it came up on social media again. There's talk of AOC president in 2028 and what would that look like? And we're going to take a break in just a bit. And when we come back, I just have to play this clip. Do you remember the Eat the Babies lady at the AOC event? Because it was too much CO2 and it wasn't enough to not populate, but we got to eat the babies. Do you remember? D, do you remember the Eat the Babies lady? You remember that, right?
I didn't remember her until she resurfaced now.
Yeah, it resurfaced. So when we come back, I just want to play the Eat the Babies lady because number one, it's very disturbing. That's the first thing. But the second thing is it was at an AOC event, right? It was a town hall that she was having in Queens in New York. And it's not that a lady comes along and says, it's not good enough to not have babies. We got to eat the babies. It's like, wait, you're just trolling. Like, this is a joke, right? But it was AOC's reaction, right, D? It wasn't, because we talked about that. It wasn't what was said.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away in case there's people listening that have never heard it before.
All right. So that's called a tease, everybody. So D would like me to tease this little segment. All right, so coming up, top of the news, we'll find out what's going on in the Florida's Voice newsroom. And then in a minute, we'll play the audio of AOC in the Eat the Babies moment. And again, it's not what she said. It's what AOC said in response. If you don't remember it, I'll play the clip coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you probably know this. I've had a music career, an EMI published songwriter in the past. I've had a top 20 Billboard hit and movie soundtracks. But I got my start right here in Southwest Florida at Soundcheck Studios with Jim Becker. I worked with Jim when he was producing big names like Castrol and Beck's Beer and other commercial clients from ABC, NBC, CBS. He's done it all. It doesn't make a difference what your musical style is if you're talking about recording for bands or
producing, music, jingles. He does it all at Soundcheck Studios. Recently, he worked with RCA artist Doja Cat and also a Sony artist Flipped an Arrow. A lot of great artists have made their way through Soundcheck Studios. So if you want to make your brand memorable with a jingle or maybe a commercial you want to cut, or maybe it's a band, give Soundcheck Studios a call today. 239-340-0515. That's 239-340-0515 for Soundcheck Studios.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Since the dawn of time, man and wildlife have shared a connection. And hunting traditions passed down from generation to generation have connected man to the natural world. From bow and arrow to hook and bullet, as man evolved, our link to those traditions remained. Yet today, our basic instinct to provide, and as part of the hunt, to conserve and appreciate the natural world has fallen under attack for the first time in human history. Misguided politicians and radical activists pushing an agenda to end hunting as we know it are leading a war against our heritage. In their misguided policies and protests, they demonize hunters and belittle our way of life. The results? Hunters leaving the sport in droves while our wildlife and ecosystems suffer the consequences as conservation funding dries up. Named after the father of the North American model for wildlife conservation, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting in the arena to protect and expand the rights of hunters everywhere. We will fight back against these forces to make sure that every American has a right to hunt, enshrined in their state constitutions. We will educate the next generation in our traditions and seek to expand accessibility so that everyone can enjoy our pastimes. And we will continue to hold true to our namesake's efforts to protect, preserve, and ensure open access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation. We cannot afford to sit idly by and let others erode our rights. Like Teddy himself once said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much.
But that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, coming up, we're going to have that audio from AOC, the Eat the Babies audio from a few years back. It's pretty funny. And also, we're going to get into some other things that are going on here in the state of Florida. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that right now. We call this Top of the News. There it is now. I think we can tell it's Monday. I'm not pushing the right buttons, but I know Anita Padilla's in the Florida's Voice newsroom, and I know she's got everything together. So let's just go to Anita, find out what's going on in the newsroom. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Drew, here's what's happening on this Monday. Operation Tidal Wave makes a big splash in Florida with the arrest of nearly 800 illegal immigrants rounded up by the ICE agents in Miami working with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Those teams started making arrests on Friday, and the 4-day operation is being called a success by all involved, including the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. She called it a warning to all criminal illegal aliens. She said, "We're coming for you." She says DHS and ICE will, quote, hunt you down, arrest you, and deport you. Governor DeSantis also promoted the federal-state partnership, calling it an example of Florida and DHS partnering to deliver big results on immigration enforcement and deportations. Okeechobee County Sheriff's deputies have arrested the former GOP chair of Port St. Lucie, Kenneth Ford Nail, for allegedly trying to smuggle contraband into the state prison under the guise of serving legal documents. According to police, Nail, who is a self-employed process server, handed those documents to an inmate through the prison fence at the Okeechobee Correctional Institute. But a sergeant happened to notice that the paper he received was unusually heavy, and so when she looked further, she said she noticed that the thick stack of papers were glued together and there was a cutout in the middle. And inside were 2 cell phones, cell phone chargers, and a bag of yellow pills later identified as alprazolam, a controlled substance for anxiety and panic attacks. Those items were seized and then taken into evidence. Police were called, and they say that Nail claimed he was paid $100 to deliver the documents for a woman named Amanda, who had previously hired him 5 or 6 other times to deliver documents to that same prison in the past. Kenneth Nail is now facing drug charges and may face additional charges later. All right, well, if you have a lead foot, you might want to listen up. State lawmakers have just approved a bill that's now waiting for the governor to sign, and it's for people who speed excessively. In other words, anyone driving 50 miles per hour or more than the posted speed limit, or at 100 miles per hour, or in a manner that is threatening to the safety of those around them. After just one conviction, you could be in prison for up to 30 days and fined $500 or both. And if you do it a second time and you're convicted, you'll get 90 days in prison and a $1,000 fine. If the governor approves this, it will become a law on July 1st. All right, that's it for now. I'll be back at 4:35 to tell you more about Tucker Carlson taking aim at Governor Ron DeSantis over the weekend, where people were celebrating the passage of the state's right to hunt and fish. That's in our next hour. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director for Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
All right, Anita, we appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Anytime you want to watch at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, and anytime you want to check out the stories, you can head over to flvoicenews.com. Everything you just heard, Florida's Voice, the website, it's right there for you to peruse. All right, before we get to a couple of more stories going on here in the state on Florida's Voice, I just wanted to mention this because we talked about it a little earlier. So you've got Democrats are in disarray. You've got a lot of things that they're doing, including the latest. Do we have, let me see if I have this here. I'm just looking for it. Hold on a second. Stand by. I just want to make sure I have it before I start talking about it. But the talk right now is that, all right, there it is from Eric Doherty, our own Eric Doherty, in the Florida's Voice newsroom. So we need the break. Oh, boy. We need the, I don't know what that was. We need the breaking news sounder. Where is the breaking news sounder?
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good one. But anyway, Representative Sri Thanadar has filed. Well, what did he file? Well, what did he just say? What's he talking about? Let's see. Okay, he's a Democrat from the, which state is he from? Is it Michigan? Let's find out.
This is Congressman Sri Thanadar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy.
Okay, do you need to know any more? So we're going in this direction, everybody. So Democrats are in disarray. The approval ratings is in the tank. They feel like the hill that they want to die on is the illegal that was sent back to his home country, El Salvador. Do we have to go through this again for the millionth time? I mean, they keep talking about it over and over and over again, but you already know the story. The illegal who was here, domestic violence, an MS-13 gang member. That's a terrorist organization. It's been dubbed as such. You have somebody who's here in the country illegally. El Salvador, there you go. No, you got to turn the plane around. No, we're not turning the plane around. You've got to make accommodations to bring him back. President of El Salvador. I'm not doing that. So now you have a Democrat from Michigan who, well, let's hear.
But defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump.
There you go, everybody. So a Michigan Democrat has filed to impeach Trump with 7 articles of impeachment. And just like that, we go on about our business because we've seen the story before. The American people are not going to sit back and allow this to take place. They know what's going on here. They knew what was going on before. They voted for everything that we are seeing right now. They can try this whole impeachment, which is really funny because if defying a Supreme Court ruling is the starter package, if you will, for impeachment. Big D on the other side of the glass. Are you there? Are you with me here? I think he is.
I am here.
Didn't Joe Biden defy the Supreme Court multiple times with the student loan issue? Weren't they like?
I would say so.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you can't do that. You can't pay off student loans. It's like, okay. We're gonna pay off your student. No. Listen, you can't pay off the student loans. We got paperwork on that. I'm gonna pay off. Okay, hold on a second. I got the paperwork here. You can't do it. Doesn't matter. So defying Supreme Court orders seemed to be right in the Democrats' wheelhouse, but because it wasn't a Republican, they weren't going to do anything about it. You remember that, right, Dean? I think you do. So, yeah, you could say yes, and that'll be fine. We can move on from there.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So that just popped. Democrats are in disarray. You got Chuck Schumer's like, I'm not leaving. I'm sticking around here in the Senate because I got a coalition that I've brought together. Okay. And by the way, AOC is going to want to run for my seat, and I've got to go against her. Here's that time at the town hall meeting a few years back when AOC was having the town hall. She had all the friendlies there. Everybody loves AOC, Green New Deal. And then somebody, I don't know if this was like, they trolled her. I don't know if this was real. I don't know. But the woman that comes up and
be here for much long because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not going to solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. It's not funny. But I am kind of, because what? You're going to start eating the babies. Remember? Now you remember that. Now. I mean, we saw this earlier. And we're like, I remember that.
Absolutely.
I remember that lady. And then she goes on and...
We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please.
No, this was a joke, right? I mean, she was being trolled at the time. Right? Remember that whole thing? She's being trolled.
This has to be.
Yeah, and then they come and and she keeps talking about eating the babies, and she wouldn't stop. And
we need to eat the babies.
Okay, so you got somebody who's screaming about eating the babies, and everybody's like, all right, what's AOC going to say? This is the only reason why I'm playing this Eat the Babies clip from a few years back is because just remember how in disarray the Democrat Party has been for a long time. It's not just recently. It's just that recently people are like, wait a second. It's gotten a little out of hand. I mean, the Green New Deal and the way they couched it and they made it sound really good until you wondered where all the money went, and there's still trillions of dollars floating around. And, hey, how many stations do we have to charge my EV? 7. Wait. You said we were going to have it all over the world, all over the country. And we only have 7 that you built, and we gave you trillions of dollars, that kind of thing. So it's not what the Eat the Babies lady said. It's what AOC said. Listen.
Okay.
Okay. So,
no, we'll go ahead.
Okay.
It's
okay.
No.
All right. So she wants her to calm down. She wants to talk.
So I think
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no. So one of the things that's very important to us is that we need to treat the climate crisis with the urgency that it does present. Luckily, we have more than a few months. We do need to hit net zero in several years.
Okay. Well, yeah, we don't have, she was right. We don't have any time, right, Dee? Because we were told by Al Gore that we're already dead. We're just zombies walking around the planet because we died.
Yeah, we're already outliving Gore's estimate.
Didn't we die like 10 years ago? I guess according to...
We should have.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. So Dee and I were, or me and Dee were, which one is it? It's me and Dee.
It depends what you say next.
Okay. Me and Dee were sitting talking about this... Dee and I were sitting around talking about this clip. And what did we say, Dee? It's not the thing that she said, AOC, about eating the babies. It's the
thing that she did not say.
She didn't say, we're not eating babies. Okay, first of all, we're not eating babies. She never said that. I'm only bringing this up because as this clip came up and we saw the clip, and the two of us were like, we got to revisit that because when you talk about Democrats in disarray, I think that's a big one. Like, that's a big part of it. It's the things that they won't say. Got to eat babies. We don't have to eat babies. We're not eating babies. For Green New Deals, we're not eating babies. They don't. And so AOC kind of tells you who she is and who Democrats are in the things that they won't tell. Look, I'm not saying that behind closed doors, Democrats are like, maybe we should revisit what this lady said. I'm not saying that. But to not say it, like we're not doing this, does call attention to things that we... Yeah. All right, so already you've got by far, the #1 trending on X, tweet, whatever you want to call it, that's out there, is this Democrat from Michigan who has 7 articles of impeachment against Trump. Hey, good luck with that. Here we go. Are we trying to make things better? Are we working together? Oh, no, we can't do that because Trump and, Orange Man bad. Yeah, we get it. And it's definitely sad. There's a couple of things that are going on here in the state of Florida that may or may not be sad. I don't know. I saw this story. And I don't know that I disagree. I saw that in 2022, the Florida legislature did one bang-up job trying to deal with insurance in this state. Now, I know that insurance is not exactly cheap. It's not cheap wherever you go, really. There's very few places where it is. And part of the reason, obviously, is the cost of repairs and the cost of what it takes to create or to work on, let's just say if it's auto insurance, the parts needed and the prices that have gone up, and subsequently, there's a lot of different reasons. Hurricanes, I get all of that. And the housing, when you talk about homeowners insurance and people leaving the marketplace. But in 22, the legislature worked really hard trying to figure out good deals to try to get companies back. It worked. It is turning around. There are a lot of good things that are going on. It's not perfect. There are some tweaks that can happen. No doubt about it. But they did work on it. There are people that are concerned about some GOP members here in the state of Florida reversing their 2022 votes to deal with insurance. And I might explore this a little more because I'm not sure that I disagree. The work was laid down in 22 to get this thing turned around. I hope we didn't mess it up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
What are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the...
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet? Not talking about this.
No?
No.
Have you seen the whole video with Bill Belichick? Did you see that? The Art of Winning, Lessons from a Life in Football. He's doing this book tour and then interviewed on CBS Sunday Morning. Did you see that, D?
I saw the clip that you just played. I did not watch the entire thing. Very, very weird.
It's awkward. All right, so for those that don't know, Bill Belichick, he did all right. He coached the football NFL. He was pretty good, right, D? I mean, he was all right.
Average.
Yeah. And so now he's got this book out, The Art of Winning, Lessons from a Life in Football. being interviewed, and so he's got this girlfriend. And so Bill Belichick is like 85 years old, and his girlfriend's like, what, 25 years old? Is that a little bit of an exaggeration or pretty close?
On his age, yes. On hers, I believe she's 24, 25.
Did I go too high? I'm sorry. All right.
You went way too high on his, I believe.
Oh, well, I know.
I think she's between 24 and 26.
He's 73. He's 73. She's 20-something. I don't know. Love finds funny strangers in the... who knows how... I don't care about it. Whatever. It doesn't matter why it's happening. The dude's happy. He's happy. And she's happy. Everybody... Okay. It's weird, but all right. Strange. So... I guess they're trying to ask him, can't help but ask you about the girl. No, you can help but ask about the girl. You really don't have to. It's not really necessary. I know she's in the room with me right here, standing next to me, basically hovering over me while we're doing the interview. But I don't know, Dee, it wasn't really like hovering over, I guess. But she was
back there observing and listening and basically objecting would be a good
right, she's
adjective.
And so she's there and she's like, I don't like the camera angle. I don't like the way he looks here. You mean he needs more makeup? More makeup, more makeup. Like, it was kind of like that. It was almost like a stage mom thing going on. And obviously he's not going to ask. I guess there comes a point where do you ask, or do you just, if you're CBS Sunday Morning and you're trying to interview one of the winningest coaches or, one of the best coaches ever in the history of the NFL. I mean, he's got like 17 Super Bowl wins. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. The Patriots guy. Do you really have to go to the girl thing? Just leave it out. Like, why do that? I guess, do you think like what do you suppose if you're the left-leaning media, the news organizations, and, he's there, so he must be okay with you. What do they think they're going to get out of that?
Clicks, content, website visits, video visits.
But out of Bill Belichick, what do they think they're going to get? Like him?
Nah, they're just plucking and prying at him.
Exactly.
They're just trying to get a good sound clip.
Right. I mean, he's not going to be like, I got to tell you, as soon as I saw her, I fell in love. I couldn't believe her. She was beautiful. We were walking on the... like, he's not going to... I was having a couple of drinks, and I'm sitting there with my buddy, and I was like, wow, she's pretty. Like, he's not going to tell you the whole story. It's not why he's there to begin with, and I don't know. But I guess, what, A for effort or E for effort? How does that work? Is it A or E?
Well, in this case, it's F.
Right. It's very good. Hey, that was kind of funny. That was good. That's, no, don't you remember there were, when I was in school, if you didn't get A, B, C, and D grades, and F grades, what was the other one? It was satisfactory, right? Do you remember that, D? You get...
those were on the report cards.
Right, okay, so satisfactory, or... What was the other? Was it was it a U?
Unsatisfactory, satisfactory, failing.
I'm trying to remember what it was. If you didn't have a satisfactory grade on your report card. See, those are the good old days, D, when it was in pencil, and you could erase it and say, I got an A! I got an A, Mom. I did fantastic. Can I go play with my friends today? Until she finds out, and she takes a good look and is like, wait a second, and she's like, get back in this house! I'm not saying that happened to me, but,
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way. No way. No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, a Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the west coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage,
I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Well, hey, everybody. So glad you're joining us today on Florida's Voice. My name is Drew Steele. Big D's on the other side of the glass. Nina's back from vacation in the breaking newsroom, working hard. And you hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. Coming up, did Tucker Carlson really call out the governor of the state of Florida? We'll play the audio. You tell me what you think about this. And really get down to the crux of the question of what about what he said? Left-wing environmental organizations. I mean, how is the relationship with the governor? Is it cozy or is it like not? What Tucker said is wrong, or is there something to it in a certain way? It's okay to have the conversations. We're just asking questions. That's all it is. It's not attacking anybody personally. It's just asking questions. That's all. So, I mean, Tucker said it, so we'll comment on it coming up in just a little bit. Also, on the way, we will talk more about what's going on in D.C. The White House press secretary asked a whole lot of questions today. D.C. Drano was the person in the new media seat, had a very interesting question to ask today, a couple of them. And so we're going to get to some of that on the way as well. Look, the left is going to do what the left is going to do in this state and in the country. It's just one of those things you can bank on. A lot of times they're going to tell falsehoods. A lot of times they're going to call for the impeachment of somebody who doesn't deserve to be impeached. But in their eyes, they do. And if a Democrat were in the same exact position, they would be like, nothing to see here. Move along, minions. You know, that kind of talk. And that's, again, what's happening right now is that Michigan Democrat has 7 articles of impeachment ready to go for Donald Trump, which everybody knew was going to happen. You knew that was coming sooner or later in some way, shape, or form, and they think they've got it in the form of, again, illegals in the country and being sent off to their home countries, deported, even if they're criminals. Can't do that. Oh, and it's even worse if they're going to have the very, very real discussion and debate now, because they brought it up, about something that we've talked about many, 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 many times. I've been talking about this for years. There is a legitimate question to ask when it comes to someone who is in the country illegally, then has a baby in said country, and then that baby is a few years old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 7 years old, and all of a sudden, the mom, the dad, together, separately, however the situation is, they're going to be deported. Now, you have 2 choices. You could either say, well, my 4-year-old is a U.S. citizen. Hey, fend for yourself, kid. Yeah, here's a couple of bucks, and, good luck to you. I got to leave, and I'm not taking you because, well, I am from another country, and you're here in the United States. And because you're a citizen, you are literally locked to this country. Like the wall, all of a sudden, this major wall goes up, and if you're an American citizen, you can't leave. There's no way you can leave. Did you know that, D? Did you know that if you are someone who is the child of someone who came to this country illegally, that the minute you are born here, it's like almost like a fence that comes as soon as you walk up to the border. It's like all of a sudden there's like this fence that pops up. You're not allowed to leave. You cannot leave the United States. Did you know that?
That's an Amendment 0, right?
Yeah, that is. So it doesn't exist. So you could either say, hey, kid, 4-year-old, good luck. Or you could do what any good, decent human being would do. You take the child with you. Because you're not going to leave a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old in the United States if you're getting ready to be deported, because at the end of the day, you're a mom, you're a dad. You're not leaving the child. You're not giving them a couple of bucks and letting them hang out in the country by themselves. Of course not. You're taking them with you. That's what's happening now. And NPR had the story. Hold on, give me the track. Now, NPR, CNN, NBC, pick your left-leaning media outlet. They found their new lead, a Trump-nominated federal judge, just according to NPR. Okay, so they could be wrong too. In Louisiana, said that a 2-year-old American citizen appears to have been deported, quote, with no meaningful process. Comes as the Trump administration's faced growing criticisms for his hurried proceedings to remove as many non-citizens from the country as quickly as possible. They really wrote that as the first paragraph. Like, let's go, gotta get out, hurry up, let's go. The second part of it is no meaningful process. What's the process? The mom is here illegally. The process is either the child's going to stay or the child's going with you. They're coming with you. Even, who was it? Wasn't it, I think it was, Secretary of State Rubio was being asked about this very disingenuous headline and story. The headline is U.S. judge says 2-year-old apparently deported to Honduras with no meaningful process. And he's like, whoa, wait a second.
On the headline, that's a misleading headline. Okay, 3 U.S. citizens, ages 4, 7, and 2, were not deported. Their mothers, who are legally in this country, were deported. The children went with their mothers. If those children are U.S. citizens, they can come back into the United States if there's their father or someone here who wants to assume them. But ultimately, who was deported was their mothers who were here illegally. The children just went with their mothers.
That's what I was saying. That's what I've been saying. How do you not realize that? How do you not recognize that?
But it wasn't like, you guys make it sound like ICE agents kicked down the door and grabbed the 2-year-old and threw him on an airplane. That's misleading. Yeah. That's just not true.
Just to be clear, because I do want to get to the overhaul at the State Department, is it the U.S. policy to deport children, even U.S. citizens, with their families, and I hear what you're saying, without due process? Just to be very clear there.
Well, no. Again, if someone's in this country unlawfully, illegally, that person gets deported. If that person is with a 2-year-old child or has a 2-year-old child and says, I want to take my child with me, well, then you have 2 choices. You can say, yes, of course you can take your child, whether they're a citizen or not, because it's your child. Or you can say, yes, you can go, but your child must stay behind.
No, yeah. Or there's this invisible wall that pops up and they really can't even get them out of the country. Again, They won't take the logical answer here. If the mom's being deported and there's a 2-year-old, she's not leaving the 2-year-old behind. She's taking the 2-year-old. They're being deported. No, she's taking the 2-year-old.
And then your headlines would read, U.S. holding hostage 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 7-year-old while mother deported. Yep. So the parents make that choice. I imagine those 3 U.S. citizen children have fathers here in the United States. Yeah. They can stay with their father. That's up to their family to decide where the children go.
Right. Exactly. So there's probably a dad involved here, a family member here someplace. So it's going to get solved, taken care of. In the meantime, you take your child with you. This doesn't stop. This is continuous. I think it was a little while ago. Yeah. Let me get this audio up. D, get ready to play this video here. Hold on a second. Let me cue this up. Stephen Miller is stepping up to the podium. Microphones, press is outside. It's a beautiful day in D.C. He's walking up. One of the people in the press have a question they want to ask him. D, let's check this video out here. Listen.
Is it the best use of the administration's resources to be going after moms of young kids, basically?
Do you yourself have an opinion on the subject?
I'm more interested in yours.
Well, what percentage of the, let's just pick an even number of, say, 10 million illegal aliens. Let's say that Biden released, I think it's closer to 20 million. Let's say he released 10 million illegal aliens into the country over the last 4 years. What percentage do you think we should let stay here of those 10 million?
Whoa. What's the percentage? What are the percentage of people, 10 million people? What's the percentage of people that come into this country illegally that can stay? We just... you all on that side of the room, everybody go to the right. You all have to leave. You guys can stay. What do you think? And the reporter's like...
I'm not trying to do a game show.
No, but I'm saying... No.
I'm not trying to do a gamemanship with you. No, but it's a legitimate question.
If you think that's the best use of...
Well, hold on. But is it your view that if a Democrat president releases 10, 15, 20 million illegals into the country, that they all then should get to stay forever and for all of life?
Stephen, I don't have a view about what Democratic presidents do. I'm asking what the Republican president for and how
so you don't want to answer the question.
Yeah, you don't want to ask the question.
Because you know the answer is obvious. Everyone that Biden let in has to go home. Of course. I mean, it's a crazy thing to even ask. You think we should give administrative amnesty to some subset of the illegals that Biden... Here's how we're prioritizing it. ICE is going to continue to focus on raids against high-threat criminal aliens. We're going to use the entire force and power of the federal government to get them all home.
This is, again, as we've said many times, this is the hill. This is the hill they're going to die on. They're sticking with this. The American people already voted on what they want. They're plenty happy. I think there have been many, many, many different polls that are out there that would suggest that the American people are on the side of what this administration is doing. But that is a legitimate question to ask. What percentage do you think we should let stay here at 10 million people? I mean, give us the number. I didn't know there was a number. I didn't know that's how that works. Yep, that's how it works. For Democrats. So this now is where we're going to continue to be for, well, I don't know, until the impeachment of President Trump pops up. Oh, look at that. The impeachment of President Trump has popped up. Do we get that audio there? I got to try to find it. I don't even want to play it. It's just annoying. The Democrat from Michigan who's like, yeah, we've got articles of impeachment. We got like 7 of them. Isn't that cool? No, it's not. It's not cool. So they persist. All right. Let's move on. What else we got going on here at Florida's Voice? We're going to get into this more in detail, but let me just tease a little bit of this, play a little bit of audio, give you a little time to ruminate on this story, and then we'll dig in more and try to figure it all out. So, Friday, Tucker Carlson, International Order of Teddy Roosevelt, big gala, big fundraising event. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Had a chance to meet Tucker, listening to him speak. It's fantastic. We had a great night. So Tucker had a few things to say that made some headlines here in the state of Florida and got some of the people on X and social media very busy and very upset. Not everybody, some. I wonder why. So basically he said, and I'll let you hear the audio, but talking about left-wing environmentalists and was concerned about the state of Florida. Now, for me, the concern about the environment and conservationism here in the state is that it is a one-way street. If there is an all-in approach, you're not allowed to ask. There's one approach. There's one bad guy. There's nothing else happening in the state of Florida when it comes to our environment other than what certain environmental groups tell you is the problem. Period, full stop. And it shouldn't be that way because we should look at an all-in approach. We should be able to have the conversation about north of the lake, south of the lake, Fort Myers, Port St. Lucie, the St. Lucie River, right? Everything, all of it. Runoff, whatever, sugar. We could have the whole conversation and try to piece it together. The problem is you have people with an agenda who will not allow an all-in conversation and solution. They only want one thing. It's almost like they're paid off, allegedly. I'm not saying that. I'm saying other people have said that, like Tucker, who's speaking on Friday, was very concerned about the things that we do here in the state. And let me just set this up because I was there. So what Tucker was saying is, look, we've got a massive amount of growth here in the state of Florida. There's no doubt about it. There's only so many places that people can go. There's no doubt about it. And the more we build and the more we build buildings and do things here in the state to help to populate the state, the more we're going to ruin certain things in certain places just because you have to. In order to be able to build that building in the middle of the woods, timber's got to come down. Just, okay, pretty obvious. So we started to talk about that. He started to talk about that, excuse me. That was where the conversation was going. And then he got into a couple of different areas about stuff that's happening in the state. So here's a little bit of what he said. Here, check this out.
You know, it's agriculture. Well, actually, it's the golf courses. I mean, stop. It's development that is doing that.
Okay, so talking about the issues, water quality issues and environmental issues and things that are going on in the state. And he's like, if you listen again, he said,
you know, it's agriculture.
It's agriculture. Agriculture is the problem.
Actually, it's the golf courses.
Actually, he says it's the golf courses.
I mean, stop. It's development.
It's development. It is something that a lot of people don't talk about. We got a lot of golf courses in the state of Florida. And, you know, the lawns need, the grass needs water, needs fertilizer, needs a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of them. So this was Tucker's angle.
That is doing that. I think it's super clear. I know everyone's paid to lie about this and playing the farmer. And, you know, farmers aren't perfect or whatever, but there have always been big farms in Florida, the whole middle of the state. That's where I'm hunting. Is farms, mostly cattle.
Right. There's always been farms all around the state. That's where he hunts. And there's a lot of places that he's visited, you know, he's driven by, mostly cattle, right?
Yeah. But the point is, what's changed in Florida is the density. And ugly building after ugly building, and golf course after golf course, really ugly buildings, so ugly that someone needs to arrest the architects immediately.
Somebody needs to arrest the architects immediately. So, all right. So Tucker's not a big fan of golf courses, apparently, and some of the some of the architecture, not agriculture, but architecture that we have here in the state. So he's not a fan of architecture or golf courses. You get that vibe. All right.
Before they build again. That's my personal view.
Okay, a lot of people agree with that.
And you feel like, oh, you know, you sound like AOC because you're against like another disgusting federally subsidized housing complex. No, AOC is in favor of disgusting federally subsidized housing complexes. I'm an American right-winger, and I believe in beauty, nature, animals, and God's creation. Okay, you're the problem, not me. You're not going to make me feel like a socialist because I'm against building a freaking gas station or whatever disgusting complex you're getting rich from and paying off every politician in the state of Florida, including the governors. Okay, I'm opposed to that. I'm for the people who grow food. I'm against the people who make the country uglier.
Whoa. And that's where the problem happened. When he brought up that little aspect. Let me play that again, and then we let it play a little longer. So he doesn't, just because he wants to keep Florida natural and wild, if you will, somehow, because he likes to hunt and fish, that somehow he's some kind of AOC. He's not. And his suggestion is that if you're the person that wants to just build ugly buildings, concrete everything, tons of golf courses, his take on it is you're destroying the state. The farmers aren't destroying the state. The people that are feeding us. It's construction. It's building. It's getting a lot of people in a very small area. The density issue. That's what's destroying. That's his point. But let it play a little bit. Go.
I'm for the people who grow food. I'm against the people who make the country uglier. I don't think that's a left-wing position. I think that's a traditionally conservative American position. And I think it's the only position that people who hunt and fish can have. And the third thing I think we need to say is that hunting and fishing and a love of nature is a direct response. It's a middle finger in the face of the digital tyranny that has encircled us.
Okay, so there you go. So that is Tucker, who was talking about the governor, and what he brought up was, and pretty much said that he feels like the governor, I guess you could say, are paid off by environmental groups, because that's what he brought up. And he contended that officials, including the governor, being paid off. Now, you may cringe at that. You may not like that Tucker Carlson says that. Some of you like and respect the governor and think, well, that's a dig, and then get mad at Tucker for saying it without asking the question. I mean, that's not true. You know, a lot of people are concerned about that. I talk to many people who are concerned about, and I've mentioned this a million times before. And look, don't get mad at me or upset for just having this conversation. It's okay. The reason why you have conversation about politicians that politically you like and respect, and you question some of the things that are going on, is because you like and respect them politically, and you want to make sure that if this is true, or if there are bad things that are going on when it comes to certain people getting paid off to not scream and yell and show up and protest and make politicians look bad, so you want to make sure that these certain people have money and there's money going in, and you're not able to do an audit to find out where all that money is going, especially to crazy left-wing environmental groups. Just want to make sure that's not happening. And you bring it up because you hope it's not happening. And if it is, you would gently like to tell said politician, hey, could we not do this? Could we not have them win? That's all. Because I don't want anybody being able to hang anything over anybody, especially if it's good conservatives, to use against them in the future. Pretty simple. Pretty obvious. So don't make me feel like a socialist because I'm against building a gas station or whatever complex you're getting rich off of and paying every politician in the state of Florida, including the governor. That's what Tucker Carlson said. He said he's opposed to it. He's for the people who grow food. He's against the people who make the country uglier. Now, when you have people who are growing the food and are being made the boogeyman, the bad guy, big sugar, big blah, 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 because if you put big in front of it, it's scary. And some places it's warranted, and in some places it's just political. But if you're growing the food and you're not the problem, in other words, if you're not looking at an all-in approach, then you're not being honest. You're not being truthful. And not being truthful is a bad thing to be in politics. And especially if you're some environmental group who wants to focus on one thing and won't talk about the rest of it. If you're telling me you're focusing on big sugar and south of the lake and all of the things that we talk about all the time here in the state of Florida, as far as water quality and a lot of, well, let me just say, certain people focus on that. And you ignore north of the lake and golf courses and density, like that's not even a thing. This is your thing. You're disingenuous. You're not being truthful. And it's not fair to everyone who's looking for solutions. All of it. Everything. And the hope is that you're not getting paid off to make sure that certain things aren't coming up. Only one thing, because that wouldn't be fair either.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council. Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you probably know this. I've had a music career, an EMI published songwriter in the past. I've had a top 20 Billboard hit and movie soundtracks. But I got my start right here in Southwest Florida at Soundcheck Studios with Jim Becker. I worked with Jim when he was producing big names like Castrol and Beck's Beer and other commercial clients from ABC, NBC, CBS. He's done it all. It doesn't make a difference what your musical style is. If you're talking about recording for bands or producing music, jingles, he does it all at Soundcheck Studios. Recently, he worked with RCA artist Doja Cat and also a Sony artist Flipped an Arrow. A lot of great artists have made their way through Soundcheck Studios. So if you want to make your brand memorable with a jingle or maybe a commercial you want to cut, or maybe it's a band, give Soundcheck Studios a call today. 239-340-0515. That's 239-340-0515 for Soundcheck Studios.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Access to our nation's wild lands. Teddy Roosevelt's vision for American conservation defines our modern hunting and conservation system. A system upheld by the idea that conservation efforts are crucial to our hunting way of life, and that hunters are crucial to successful conservation. We cannot afford to sit idly by and let others erode our rights. Like Teddy himself once said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Hunters, and all those who want to protect the outdoors to come together, build strategies to protect our rights, and expand opportunities in the future for generations to come. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see. You don't want to miss this event.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead, and in a changing world, you've got how to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
All right, anytime you want to watch the program at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, we do appreciate it. And each and every day at this time, 35 minutes after the hour, we check out the top of the news, as we like to call it, in the Florida's Voice newsroom.
Top of the news, Florida's headlines.
Now. All right, so let's see what we got going on. Anita Padilla's in the Florida's Voice newsroom. She's got the latest for us. What's up?
Hey, Drew, topping the news at this hour, the former GOP chair of Port St. Lucie, Kenneth Ford Nail, has been arrested in Okeechobee County for allegedly trying to smuggle contraband into the state prison under the guise of serving legal documents. According to the police, Nail, who is a self-employed process server, was seen handing documents to an inmate through a prison fence at the Okeechobee Correctional Institute. But a sergeant noticed that the paper was unusually heavy, and when she looked further, she discovered that the thick stack of papers were glued together and that there was a cutout in the middle, and inside were 15 cell phones, 17 phone chargers, and a bag of yellow pills later identified as a drug that is a controlled substance for anxiety and panic attacks. The items were seized, taken into evidence, and police were called. They say that Nail claimed he was paid $100 to deliver the documents for a woman named Amanda, who's previously hired him 5 or 6 other times to deliver documents to the same prison. Kenneth Nail is facing drug charges and may face additional charges later. Conservative commentator and former Fox News host Tucker Carlson tore into Governor Ron DeSantis over the weekend. Carlson contends that officials, including the governor of Florida, are paid off by environmental groups like Captains for Clean Water and the Everglades Foundation. He says those organizations wrongly blame farmers for the water quality problems. Carlson blames development for the problems. He was speaking at an event celebrating the passage of amendment to the right to hunt and fish. Do you like to speed, maybe drive fast and furious?
No.
Well, if so, listen up. This one's for you. State lawmakers have approved a bill now waiting for the governor to sign, and it's for people who like to speed excessively. In other words, anybody driving 50 miles per hour or more than the posted speed limit, or at 100 miles per hour, or in a manner that is threatening the safety and lives of those around them. After just one conviction, you could be imprisoned for up to 30 days or fined $500, or both. A second time gets you a 90-day sentence in prison and a $1,000 fine. Now, if the governor does approve this, it becomes a law on the 1st of July. That is all for now. Be sure to head over to our webpage for more news stories just like this. I'm Anita Padilla, the news director here for Florida's Voice. Drew, back over to you.
Anita, we appreciate you there in the Florida's Voice newsroom. Thanks so much. Anytime you want to watch or check out these stories and so much more, you can watch and check out at flvoicenews.com. That's Florida's Voice, the website. And you can see what is going on with all these stories right there. All right. 866-588-8303, by the way. Anytime you want to call the program, 866-588-8303. So a little while ago, we played the audio of Tucker Carlson from the event on Friday and talking about density in the building here in the state. And, just because he doesn't want to build more golf courses and ugly buildings doesn't mean he's some kind of socialist, that he wants to protect and conserve the environment that we have, to do the best we can with that. It was an interesting piece of audio. And then, of course, he talked about left-wing environmental groups and concerns there as well. And I got Travis Thompson on with us right now here at Florida's Voice, of course, Executive Director, All Florida. And, we were together hanging out. We heard everything that went down with that conversation. So why don't we talk to Travis about this right now? Hey, man.
How's it going?
Yeah, it was great to be there, man. What a great event. Wasn't it fantastic? International Order of T. Roosevelt, Drew,
Yeah.
they do an incredible job. And conservatives for conservation. That's really the ideal there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was so well articulated through the whole night. You know, the things that we talk about that I've brought up with you, that Tucker was saying, things like how did the narrative become? If you care about the environment, you must be a progressive. How did Democrats and progressives own like the environment? When did that happen? And that's got to stop, right?
It's 100%. Like it's 100% true. Like what you're saying is 100% true. You can't co-opt conservation, and conservation is I think it's a decidedly conservative ideal, and I hate to be that guy, but the fact is conservation is about, we've said this on the show before, conservation is about seeking the proper use of natural resources. Yeah. So I don't want to go shoot all the deer. I want to shoot a deer that I can have for dinner and ensure that there's deer there for year after year. Similarly, I got to be able to grow food, be it vegetables in the EAA, be it cattle that we're going to be able to get our steaks or meat from, or whatever else. Like it's a food security issue. Conservatives are all about conservation. And if you look up and down our ranks, you find people that participate in conservation on a big level constantly. And I'm sick and tired of one side acting like they've got the high ground on this.
Yeah, no doubt. So I played the Tucker Carlson audio. You were there and heard him talking. Even some groups, you might say left-leaning environmental groups, commented on some of what Tucker said. You have any thoughts on some of what was being discussed on social and what Tucker said with regard to density and what's happening here in the state?
Well, yeah, two things. One, Drew, this is the second year in a row I've heard him make a speech along those lines. Last year at IOTR's event in Scottsdale, he said the same thing. And I kind of, stood up and looked around the room a little bit as he talked about development, because you talk to anybody that lives here, conservative, nonpartisan, whatever, they're going to talk about our growth and how our growth is working. And what he said is not anti-development. It was very much like, why are we doing bad development? Why are we doing crummy development? We need to be doing good development and be proud of the places we lived. And last year he talked about where he lived in Maine and how he didn't want to change the complexion of that. This year he took it a step further, I thought, and went into, why are we demonizing farmers and agriculture when that's what's keeping Florida wild and clean and free, like the spaces that we love to go hunt and fish. He was talking about hunting and fishing, and where that exists are cattle ranches. It exists on farms. It exists in places where hunters and anglers have paid for conservation. I thought he was pretty clear and concise about it. And I think those groups that are sniping back online, they're environmentalist groups. They're not sportsman groups. And I don't think you can be a conservation group if you don't talk about hunting and fishing, if you don't talk about ag and ranching and green stuff. Like, you have to have those tools. That's not debatable. That's on the bookshelf behind me is Aldo Leopold, the father of conservation. And he said there's 5 tools of wildlife conservation: the plow and the cow, meaning farming and ranching; the axe and the match, meaning timber and forestry; and the gun, meaning hunting and angling, consumptive use. Those are the tools. If you're not talking about all of them, you're not talking conservation. You're an environmental activist. Yeah. And it's full stop. And I'm sick and tired of us in Florida giving these people the time of day over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, me personally talking, Travis, and this is me. This is Drew Steele speaking. This is me personally, not any the opinions expressed are not necessarily those of Florida's Voice, Travis Thompson, or anybody associated. Blah blah blah. Okay, avoid where prohibited. See store for details. All right, good. So I got that out of the way. So here's my thought on this. Number one, I don't like, for example, that everything is one-sided. It's always they found a villain, and it's not an all-in approach. I talked about this before. Nobody wants to talk about north of the lake. Nobody wants to talk about what he brought up with golf courses. Nobody wants to talk about density. Nobody wants to talk about anything. They want to demonize sugar. Like there are certain people who want to go one place only, and this is the bad guy. It's it, full stop. As if, as some of the kids used to say in the 80s. And it's not true. And then when you have groups, like in particular, I'm looking at an X from Captains for Clean Water when they said, asking Tucker Carlson, can you provide more context on what you're saying? We support growing real food like grass-fed beef and vegetables, not socialist subsidized crops like sugarcane being grown in the historic Everglades. Sugar is a drug that's killing Americans, costing taxpayer billions. and they said something else. And oh, there you go. And exacerbating toxic algae blooms. Okay, so then it's the suggestion: if we get rid of sugarcane, then everything's going to be hunky dory. Like everything's going to go. It's going to be perfect. We're gonna. There's going to be unicorns and pixie dust and all kinds of beautiful stuff because you got rid of one particular group that you got your eye on, and you're not thinking about it or talking about anything else. It's disingenuous at best. And it's a lie at worst.
It's disingenuous at best because, first off, I know you've talked about this on the show before, but in the EAA, they don't just grow sugar. They grow tons of vegetables. If you eat green beans on Thanksgiving, it probably came from the EAA. Like they grow green beans, they grow sweet corn, they grow tomatoes, they grow all sorts of stuff in the EAA. That is food that we all want to eat beyond sugarcane. Second off, like I probably eat too much sugar, but like sugar is a good food. Like we do enjoy eating it. It's in our desserts, and I had some pretty good desserts last week. So I'm a fan of sugar as well. At the end of the day, you can go look at the science. University of Florida has produced a report that shows that the waters coming off of Sugar Land is lower in phosphorus than where it goes on. So I'm just not sure what the end game is here, what the plan is, other than we've decided we don't like this industry and we're going to go after them no matter what because it helps us raise money and we can create a narrative around it. And I'm just sick and tired of it, honestly, because I don't see the end game beyond just we've picked a boogeyman so that we can raise dollars.
Yeah. And then the other part is I just want to make sure, and for me personally, again, it's just me talking, that I want to make sure that there isn't any money going to, because there's a lot of money being spent on Everglades restoration, water quality, these big words that encompass so much. And there's a lot there. And forgive me for wanting an accounting of dollars to see where things are going. Like I've talked about before with roads, you talk about the money you need for a road, beginning, middle, and end. Okay, there it is. We know the road is started. It's completed. You can drive on the road. There are certain things, obviously, you've got reservoirs that are being worked on that are going to be completed this year, which is exciting. And you've got a couple of other projects that are going on, and certainly the 41 project and different things that have happened. But you do want to see and make sure, for example, for me personally, Drew Steele, that none of the money at all is going to left-wing environmental groups in any way, shape, or form through any kind of avenues so that they will not talk negatively about certain people or conservatives or Republicans at all. Like, I don't want that happening. I just want the answers. And that's, Travis, that's when I talk to people, that's it. They don't want to hear all of this. What they want is, tell us how it's going to get better. Well, it's only going to be this way. Are you sure it's only going to be this way? Well, what about this way? We're not allowed to talk about that way. No. And so people just want, answers, honest and truthful, because they truly care about the state.
Couldn't have said it better. Drew, when I started down this road, I joined organizations like Captains for Clean Water thinking, hey, I'll throw my $35 in the ring and that's going to help change this and make it better. And honestly, as a guy that travels up and you see me, I travel up and down the state all the time. Yeah. You've done interviews with me in Tallahassee, Fort Myers, all over the place. Mm-hmm. I don't run into them in the room. And it's kind of like a little bit of a, what are you guys really working on here? Because I don't understand where this money's going and what's getting done on it. I looked at their annual report and I was like, I don't understand exactly what you guys are doing with all the money you're raising and the staff you have and everything else, because you're not in the rooms you should be in.
And it could be anybody. It could be any of them. This is one example, but it could be anybody, anywhere. And by the way, if you want to take the 30,000 foot view, it could be any left-leaning group not wanting to be in a room because they don't want to be anywhere where they're not going to be getting the attention or answers that they're looking for, because it's only one way. They're completely myopic. This is what we want. And you can tell me all the different ways that we can solve this. Sorry, we just want this. No, you just can't. You can't continue to do this. You can't run a state this way. You can't have results and very important issues being worked on and resolved if you're looking at things this way. I'll give you the last word.
No, you go back to Friday night, you look at what Tucker said. I stood up. I was so proud of what he said, to hear what he said. And it echoed something that kind of has been a sentiment among true conservationists and true conservation groups, both bipartisan and conservative, for a long time in this state of, why are we demonizing ag? Why are we demonizing farmers? Why aren't we standing up for sportsmen, hunting and angling? And I was proud to see it, and I hope that's a message that continues to resonate with Floridians moving forward. And I really, truly think it will.
All right, my friend. It was great to see you on Friday. And I'll talk to you soon, okay? God bless.
Take care, Drew.
All right, there he goes. Travis Thompson, all Florida. And again, this is, it's the conversation. It's okay to have a conversation about these things. We've got to talk about these things. It's all right. We just got to continue it. All right, more coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older-adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older-adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at USO.org today.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Stop! Stop! I gave you a drink, that's it!
What? Uh-oh.
Show me your hands now! Get on the ground now!
All right.
Oh, boy, there's the taser. That didn't sound good. Big D, that didn't sound good at all. You know what that was all about, right? Some dude getting arrested. But you probably don't know why. Let me tell you.
Not yet.
Yeah. So that's a guy in Highland County. Was it Highland County? Is that where it was? Yeah, in Highlands County. That's right. Florida man, as the story goes. Facing charges after he offered Highland County deputies an alcoholic beverages during a bizarre pursuit. They're chasing him down. He's like, hey, you want some of my drink? And then that led to what you heard at the end there, which was the taser going off. It wasn't good. So he stole booze from the store, tried to outrun the cops, offered him a drink. Now, it may be bad right there, and you're like, oh boy, how could it get any worse? You ready, D? You want to know how it gets worse?
Do tell.
He was stealing a vodka spritz. Spritz? You mean those, it wasn't even like just a vodka bottle. It wasn't like hard liquor or anything. It's like one of those spritz drinks. Like the ones that the little light
like
little.
the pre-made mixer.
Yeah. That's what it was. I don't know. I'm thinking, all right, he's got like 5 bottles of like really hard liquor and he's taking the good stuff off the shelf and he's running out the door. It's like, no, he's got like a couple of cans of spritz. Sorry. I don't know why I'm trying to find some humor in this, but I guess it's not one of those things you should be doing. Kids, don't steal and don't try to outrun cops and don't drink vodka spritz. Actually, don't drink at all. Just stay away from the liquor. That's it. Completely. Just don't do anything. Just drink lots of water and drink what D drinks. What do you drink? You drink those crazy vitamin smoothies, right? Don't you? Aren't you like that guy?
No, I don't do smoothies.
No.
Protein shakes.
That's it. The protein shakes, which they got a lot of calories in those things, right? I mean, you could drink protein shakes thinking it's like a healthy drink, but if
it's almost like a meal replacement for some people, depending upon how much you weigh and how many calories you're going for a day. Yeah.
But I'm not wrong about that. I mean, if you don't exercise after drinking a couple of those things during the day, you're going to gain some weight. It's not like you're losing weight because of it. Yeah. So that's all. All right. What else do we have going on here at Florida's Voice? A couple of other stories that we are watching coming up in just a bit. Oh, here the media wants to have you believe that everybody hates the orange man. Orange man bad. They can't stand Trump.
Fake news.
I know it's fake news. How do I know it's fake news? Because when you go to the news and they're asking after what's going to be tomorrow, the first 100 days of one President Donald Trump, how's it going?
What do you think of the first 100 days of Trump?
Blown away. Amazing.
Oh, she sounds real. D, she sounds sad. This sounds really bad. This is going right down the tubes. She sounds really
so upset.
She's upset.
He couldn't have done any better.
Oh boy, he couldn't have done. Wait, he couldn't have done any better. Wait.
For 78 years old, he is phenomenal.
Oh. So you had to bring his age into it, right? Okay, is that what it is now? It's about his age. Is that ageist? Or something like that. I'm trying. Where's the negative? What's that?
I'd like to see anybody who can stay up as late as he does at night and be up the next morning and still function all day, because I don't think I could.
Okay, well, I know somebody who, I was going to say, none of those things are...
I got hairy legs.
Yeah, not that guy. I'm like, well, wait a second. The last president... No, sorry about that. It's not... not going to work.
Lion, dog face, pony shoulder.
I know. Never gets old. All right. When we come back, what else are we going to be talking about? Impeachment. Donald Trump. Yeah, they got 7 articles of impeachment. Okay. Also, I don't know if you know this, but this weekend was the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Wait till you hear the honesty that came out of their mouths. No joke. Coming up.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele. Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Congratulations on your show.
Congratulations on your new show. Big deal, huh?
That's why shows like yours are so important.
We have an independent county elected sheriff that's the head of law enforcement in Jacksonville/Duval County. And I know how to work toward making this city safe.
We can't be shy about speaking on things such as faith and politics. We have to remember, in a free society, the public square belongs to all of us.
I'm not interested in North Florida looking like Orlando or Miami. I love where we live, but I think that good jobs means that people that live in this district can stay in this district.
Fishing and hunting is funding a large part of your conservation projects in Florida, and we want to make sure that those are forever preserved.
And the problem with this industry at this point is that they actually target our youth. You can see it in their marketing strategies, where it's bright colors, fun names.
And that's going to be endlessly litigated.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? Now might be the perfect time to go on offense and seize the opportunities presented by the new pro-business environment ushered in by President Trump and his administration. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you. They create strategies designed to help manage taxes, control risks, and boost your financial confidence. It's a forward-thinking approach that can strengthen your foundation so you can enjoy the lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to see how Alfie's team can help elevate your plan, call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and discover proactive strategies to help you thrive in an ever-changing world. Again, text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Let Alfie Townsend and the Advantage Retirement Group team guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
I've been dipping snuff for well over 30 years. You know, I could wake up in the morning and have a weird lump in my gums. Guess it's like playing Russian roulette, really. I would love grandchildren. And if by quitting it extends my life some, I would gladly lay it down.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
Today, push harder, push forward, push vigorously.
There are things that I am hiding from people that I'm trying to inspire.
You can do whatever you set your mind to.
I feel like a hypocrite a lot of the times.
Don't give up on yourself ever.
Smoking, I hide it because I'm ashamed of it. I want to get out of the shadow. I want to show people there is light away from the darkness. I am going to quit.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know I love the Floor Meisters in Naples. Locally family-owned business, 3 generations of Meisters. Listen, what are you looking for? Carpet, tile, hardwood, Core-Tech? Maybe that's what you're looking for. And why don't we talk to TJ Meister right now of the Floor Meisters and find out what's going on with Core-Tech. What's up, TJ?
Well, we're just keeping up with the demand for Core-Tech. Just had to order a truck and bring it in from the West Coast of the United States to keep up with all the needs and wants of the people of Southwest Florida. Somebody doesn't have it, give me a call. I probably do.
I tell you, I love my Core-Tech floor. People love it. What is it about it that makes it so awesome?
Well, it's waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof. So if you got a pool, no problem. If you got a dog, no problem. If you got a husband that spills, no problem.
Floor Meisters, that's who I trust, and you should as well. 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples. 239-596-4964 for the Floor Meisters.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping keep the constitutional republic. I want to thank you for your support for veterans in the military. Educating us. Standing up for conservatism. Giving us the truth.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? My name is Drew Steele. Big D's on the other side of the glass. You got Nina in the breaking newsroom. She's back from vacation. I'm going to go away for a couple of weeks. You're not going to know where I am. And you can't call me and you can't talk to me. And then when I show up again, you'll know I'm back. Okay, good. So she's back. Literally, that's how it went down. It's okay. People are allowed to take vacations. And we're glad you're hanging out with us at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. I know she's mad now. We appreciate you watching. I'm laughing because Big D, I'm looking at the time. Obviously, we're in the 5 o'clock hour, 5:06 right now. 5:06 on your dial. And I don't know if you remember this, but there was a time, because somebody said this to me a little while ago on a text message, because I mentioned the time, 5 o'clock. Do you remember back in the day, they used to do like the 5 o'clock whistle or something like that, or maybe they still do it on music radio. They used to do like the 5 o'clock whistle, and you hear like the Flintstone theme or something. Like,
I don't think so.
No, you don't remember that? You know, the Flintstones, when 5 o'clock hit at the very beginning of the Flintstones theme song. And do you even know what the Flintstones are? Do you know
Absolutely
it?
know what the Flintstones are.
Okay, good. Do you remember the opening theme where then you hear, he pulls on the bird's tail, and it's like this. It's like, all right, getting off from work, and he goes home, right? The 5 o'clock whistle. So a lot of music stations, they do the 5 o'clock whistle. And, hey everybody, it's 5 o'clock. They do the whole thing, and it's like, we're on our way home with a twofer or whatever it is. So you have no interest whatsoever in this. None. Okay. Anyway, I'm moving on. So that's all. It's 5 o'clock. We are moving on. And let's see what's going on. We know that the President of the United States had the world champion Philadelphia Eagles at the White House today. And the social media universe went... Big D, would you say apoplectic? Is that a good way to put it?
That's a great word.
That's a great word. Apoplectic. When Donald Trump got off of the helicopter, right? The chopper there with Saquon Barkley. And it's like, what just happened? Why is Saquon Barkley with the President of the United States? This is an outrage. Because, that's what the left does. They're all outraged because you're supposed to hate him. And he doesn't. And he's a football player, so there's that. And so they're all together, and today they're recognizing the Philadelphia Eagles. You got the team is there. You got Saquon Barkley behind him, and here you go, D. Let's check out this video. It's the president making mention of the Eagles and their championship.
The season started off slow, but you soon caught fire with your great coach inspiring you, and you got the ball to your superstar running back, who I met yesterday, and I want to tell you, he is He's a handsome guy, but I wouldn't want to tackle him. Saquon Barkley. Where's Saquon?
There he is. Look at that. What does he say? He offered him a ride on Air Force One. He said, no, you
He's
can't do
good.
it.
I got to know him a little bit. I offered him a ride on Air Force One because I was coming down. And usually they say, no, I don't think so. He said, I'll take it, sir. And he loved it. And we love being together. He's a great young guy.
There you go. So we love being together, hanging out. That's very cool. So there's that. And then today, sports came up once again at the White House press briefing.
Does the president think he deserves credit
Wait a
for
minute.
Sanders getting picked?
Okay, hold on a second. There you go. All right. So the White House press secretary being asked questions, Caroline Leavitt, it's Peter Doocy who wanted to ask about the NFL draft this weekend. And so what did he say about that?
After the president's Truth Social post, the Browns finally took Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, boy.
Does the president think he deserves credit for Sanders getting picked? And does he think going to the Browns is better than being undrafted?
Hey,
Oh, my.
All I will say is the president put out a statement, and a few rounds later he was drafted. So I think the facts speak for themselves on that.
Okay, I think Fox News just lost all of Cleveland. That's it. Dee, what do you think? Ohio's out now? Is that it? No more.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Cleveland's out. Goodbye, Cleveland. That's it. No more watching Fox News. That's it. After that. Although it is interesting when you go back, you saw the Coach Prime Deion Sanders March 13th, 2018 tweet that he put out about the Browns, the Cleveland Browns, right?
Oh, yeah. That's called karma.
So Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, who is the father of one Shedeur Sanders, who everybody thought was going to be possibly the number 3 taken by the Giants, and then maybe the number 21 taken by the Saints, and then maybe Pittsburgh, and then does anybody want him at all? And then he ended up dropping to, was it 4th round, D? Is that how far he dropped? I think it was 4th round, something like that.
I think 4th.
And so he drops, and the Cleveland Browns are like, yeah, I know we took a quarterback ahead of you, but we'll take you too. Did you know that, D? They took 2 quarterbacks. 2 of them.
Yeah, I think they have 4 quarterbacks fighting for a spot now.
Right. So they took 2, but they drafted 2. Like, who does that? So, I think Cleveland had like 850 draft picks this year. And so they're like, whatever. So Coach Prime in 2018 said, I love what the Browns have done this offseason, but if I'm a young quarterback, ain't no way I'm going to Cleveland. I would pull an Eli Manning if possible. Think about that. #truth. And if you don't know Eli Manning's story, Eli Manning, quarterback for the New York Giants, but he didn't start out that way. He was actually the choice of the, at the time, San Diego Chargers. And he was like, yeah, I'm not playing for you guys. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, I'm not playing for you. So they ended up trading Phillip Rivers for Eli Manning, and the rest is history and that whole thing. So Deion's like, don't go play for Cleveland. Oh, my son's playing for He's awesome. They're awesome. I love Cleveland. Cleveland getting some love and some not so much love. I'm not saying hate because I like Cleveland, but still a lot of Cleveland talk today. So let's get out of Cleveland talk. Let's move on to something else. Here we go. Hit me. So yesterday, I got a message about this, I guess it was a town hall with Joel, what's his name? What's the guy's name? Senator John Ossoff. He's a Democrat in the state of Georgia. And obviously, doing these town halls, you got all of these big races that are going on, races in 2025, races 2026. Everybody's gearing up. They're doing the town halls. And here's a very lovely young lady who steps up to the microphone at the Democrat senator of Georgia's town hall and says,
"Why are there no calls for impeachment? This is unacceptable. I will not live in an authoritative country, and neither will any of these people. You can do more. I like you, and I will vote for you if you are brave, and you do what we need. We need him impeached. We need him removed."
Oh, boy. So there you go. We need him impeached. We need him removed, to which the Democrat senator, of course, is going to oblige in some way, shape, or form.
There is no doubt that this president's conduct has already exceeded any prior standard for impeachment by the United States House of Representatives.
Really, how? Can you explain? Can you explain exactly how? No, he doesn't explain during the whole town hall what that is exactly.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But as I said at the beginning, I also have no choice but to be candid with you about the situation that we face and the tools that are at our disposal.
Tool is a word that I think of when I think of this Democrat. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
As strongly as I agree with you, man. And I regret if this is an unwelcome response, but my job is to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The only way to achieve what you want to achieve is to have a majority in the United States House of Representatives.
Huh. So he's like, listen, I got to be honest with you. It's not going to happen. We have to have a majority in the, and we don't have it. So the suggestion is, if we get it, wink, wink, nod, nod. If we get the majority, in the House and the Senate, tell you what, if we get the majority in the midterms, there's stuff we can do. But why would Democrats wait for that? Let's set the table right now, right? So already you've got the table being set with the Democrat senator from Michigan. Oh, hi.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar.
Who? I'm sorry. What's your name? Who?
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar.
I've never heard of you. Okay. What's up, Shri?
Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump.
So this really happened. This Democrat representative, Shri Thanedar, has filed to impeach President Trump. He's got 7 articles of impeachment. He says it's time. And he said the court said that Kilmar Garcia must be allowed to return and ignored the Constitution. No, that's not what happened. That's not what's going on here. Of course, it's the lie there that's going to get them in trouble. And of course, is going to be part of why he won't be impeached. But table's being set. She's like, I want you to impeach the president. Why aren't you doing something about it? Well, ma'am, I hate to break this to you, but until we have a majority, we really can't do anything. And here comes Shri, who's like, hey, I just did it. What do you think? I guess in anticipation. So there's that. And I don't know if the American people are thinking, who am I kidding? They're thinking, we're not doing this, are we?
This is what you do.
Yeah, I guess if you're Bernie, this is what you do. So there they are. The articles of impeachment up there, ready to go. And 7 articles. And he laid them out. It's 3 minutes and some odd seconds. I don't want to play it, but it's okay. He's laid them out. Of course they were going to do it. Now, the catch is there has to be a reason why. Well, simply because he did it. What if he didn't? What if there is no reason behind articles of impeachment except to try to get this president, as they did the last time with some others that were trying to get him as well?
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Yeah, well, there's that one. I mean, we know it.
Once we break the gas.
Yeah, that one also is Nancy Pelosi. Everybody, all the Democrats, they tried many times the whole impeachment perfectly fine. Phone call, Russia collusion, hoaxes. I mean, but besides that, there has to be something. They don't have anything. But what if it's something that a lot of people haven't been discussing? What if it's something that has to do with some investigations that are going on? Multiple, but maybe one in particular. At this time of year, coming up on the 25, 26 election cycle, there will be some elections, 25, definitely 26, getting ahead of it. What if there are some things that Democrats are really sweating? Like Act Blue. Remember the White House talking about an investigation into Act Blue? Because federal law strictly prohibits making political contributions in the name of another person, as well as contributions by foreign nationals. And we come to find out that Democrats were doing that en masse. A recent House of Representatives investigation revealed that a platform named Act Blue had in recent years detected at least 22, quote, significant fraud campaigns, nearly half of which had a foreign nexus. 237 donations from foreign IP addresses using prepaid cards, indicating that the activity remains a pressing concern. By the way, the money was from the outside coming into Act Blue and then was being funneled to Democrats. See, you can't do that. And not just that, here in this country, a lot of people are being signed up to donate to Act Blue. And then the people are like, I'm not even a Democrat. Some people probably were even dead, so they couldn't really say a whole lot of anything. But, dead people for Democrats are just a tricky vote. But, they get them anyway, somehow. Right? I mean, it's...
not a joke.
You got it, Joe. So there's a lot going on with Act Blue. A lot of concerns. Stuff is catching up. And that stuff is catching up because they're talking about it on CNN and other big fake news legacy media outlets, right?
Fake news.
Yeah. So what did they talk about over the weekend? Check this out.
To see them dig those up.
Let's also acknowledge the irony of somebody who campaigned for a year on against the so-called weaponization of the Justice Department, using it literally as a political weapon to go after your political opponents.
Yeah, that's exactly what Hillary Clinton did, and Nancy Pelosi and some others that are out there, Liz Cheney and the like, and all the people that try to get Trump in more ways than one. And it's pretty horrible and disgusting what they have been trying to do to Trump. But anyway, what
Democrats in this case, and talk about a chilling effect that you mentioned earlier, and try to wipe out Democrats' ability to raise those small dollar donations.
Oh, small dollar, see, they're worried. He's going after Act Blue. He's going to wipe out the low dollar donations. That's what they're trying to do.
Bingo. That was the point I was trying to make.
That's the point that Donna Bash was trying to make. Bingo. That's right.
And you just said it in 10 seconds, per usual. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it said it in 10 seconds. No, it's not bingo. It's
Holy Toledo.
Yeah, that's the one we like better. So there you go. Why would they bring that up? Oh, because they're going to wipe it out. They're not going to wipe anything out if there's nothing wrong. That's the lead and the moral of the story, isn't it? The lead and the moral of the story. If there's nothing to see here, then you'll have to move along. If there's no criminality, then don't worry about it. If you can explain yourself, whether it's the state of Florida and politics going on here in Tallahassee, or whether it's on a national level, if you can shut the left up and media outlets up when they are talking about certain things with regard to what they believe to be illegal moves, illegality going on, money that, for example, has been making its way through to PACs and different things. Look, if you can show that you didn't do that and it didn't happen, then cool. There's nothing to see here. We can move along. But if there are things to be seen, and if there is a problem, Act Blue, for example, funneling outside IPs, getting money from outside of the country, bringing it to Act Blue, which is basically a Democrat. Wasn't it? I think it started out as Obama's deal, right? And then they switched it up to Act Blue or something, or Hillary's. I get the lefty Marxist, communist, socialists all mixed up. But anyway, the point is, you're bringing all that money in, and the next thing you know, it goes to Act Blue, and then it gets funneled out, and it's like this weird kind of thing that they're doing, and some might say illegal, and it is. If you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to worry about, then what are you worried about? So, I don't know. That's out there. So maybe there's a lot of impeachment talk happening because they're really sweating what's coming down the line. And another way that the Trump administration has said, yeah, no, we're on to you, and we're going to stop right here. All right. Anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. And, of course, anytime you want to call, 866-588-8303 is the phone number. Once again, 866-588-8303. 8303. You can call anytime you want. All right, let's check out what else is going on here at Florida's Voice. All right, checking out some of the Florida stories. You know, the White House today was talking about the border crisis. Interesting how a lot of the discussion was coming up about that. You know, and the left, of course, pushing back on any narrative that has to do with illegals in this country being deported, especially criminal illegals. You had the White House today that did a little bit of, you could say, trolling.
White House
has put up about 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House.
So if you're looking at the screen right now, they have the pictures of those illegals that were arrested, and they put them up on the White House lawn on the driveway there.
So if you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. So
you'd say that is trolling. Could be the ultimate trolling. Could be the ultimate way to get some of the truth out there. So those that can't see, if you're listening on radio, well, if you're watching at FL Voice News, you saw it. But if you're listening, imagine, the posters, the ones that you put in the lawn, like if you're doing political posters, all across 100 posters of illegals who have been arrested for violent crimes. Of course, MSNBC puts it as unauthorized immigrants. See, they're not authorized. The Orlando Sentinel had an interesting story today. ICE detentions in Central Florida are spiking. It's almost as if there are a lot of people illegally in this state there in Central Florida. And because ICE and Florida have come together and working hard together to make sure that we would complete arrests and detentions of people that are here illegally, and it's been going well, you would imagine that places that have more illegals in their area would have a spike. And apparently Central Florida does. Let's read the story, shall we? The number of people booked into the Orange County Jail on immigration detainers 4 months into the year nearly eclipses last year's total. Looks likely to keep rising as the Trump administration cracks down on people without legal authority to remain in the country. They don't have legal authority. That's all it is. Because there is authority that they could have, but they just don't have it. They lost it. They don't know where it is. It was on the table. I had the legal authority on the table, and it was actually on top of my Subway wrapper. And I crumpled up the wrapper, and I threw it in the trash, and it just went, I'm sorry, I don't have it. 800 people booked into the Orange County Jail. And seems like there's a lot there. What that suggests to me, said the mayor, Jerry Demings, a former Orange County sheriff, said that ICE is very active in Central Florida. Yep, that's what I would say too. Homeland Security, in tandem with state law enforcement, kicked off Operation Tidal Wave this week. Yep, and a lot of arrests in Central Florida. So you read more into the story, and you go from, wow, what's going on there, to some sad stories. For instance, at a prayer service outside of ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Office building in an industrial part of Orange County on Thursday, a woman from Botswana approached a handful of faith leaders who gathered to protest deportations. So they're faith leaders, they're protesting, and this woman from Botswana showed up. She came to the U.S. 20 years ago as part of a Disney work program, stayed ever since, working as a waitress. Each year, immigration officials renewed her visa. They did? They kept renewing it over and over and over again? And this year, they're not going to renew it. She's got to be out by May 14th. She visited the ICE office this week to show she purchased a ticket back. She said it's shocking. It is? So that's an interesting take on this, that you have all of these people in Central Florida and you have a lot of deportations going on, a lot of questions about what's going on there in Central Florida. And then you have one person who was part of a Disney work program, like, I got to leave. Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting, Central Florida being a place that people are seeing a spike in ICE detentions. Top 5 audio clips on the way.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I'm
Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you probably know this. I've had a music career, an EMI published songwriter in the past. I've had a top 20 Billboard hit and movie soundtracks. But I got my start right here in Southwest Florida at Soundcheck Studios with Jim Becker. I worked with Jim when he was producing big names like Castrol and Beck's Beer and other commercial clients from ABC, NBC, CBS. He's done it all. It doesn't make a difference what your musical style is. If you're talking about recording for bands or producing music, jingles, he does it all at Soundcheck Studios. Recently, he worked with RCA artist Doja Cat and also a Sony artist Flipped and Arrow. A lot of great artists have made their way through Soundcheck Studios. So if you want to make your brand memorable with a jingle or maybe a commercial you want to cut, or maybe it's a band, give Soundcheck Studios a call today. 239-340-0515. That's 239-340-0515 for Soundcheck Studios.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Radical anti-hunting forces are working to ban fishing and hunting across the country. These extreme attacks on our heritage must be met. Thankfully, the International Order of T. Roosevelt is fighting back as the nation's premier organization defending our rights to fish and hunt. This April, you can step into the arena with us and join our fight in Naples, Florida. Join us at the historic Ritz-Carlton Tiburon and hear from world-class speakers including Tucker Carlson. The annual event is the best place for conservationists, anglers, hunters, and all those who want to protect the outdoors to come together, build strategies to protect our rights, and expand opportunities in the future for generations to come. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. Visit IOTR.org to learn more about our organization and to sign up to see Tucker in April. You don't want to miss this event.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, are you still playing defense with your money? It's time to shift gears and seize the fresh opportunities this new pro-business environment has to offer. That's exactly what certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and the team at Advantage Retirement Group do for high net worth investors like you, helping you go on the offense with advanced tax strategies, thoughtful risk management, and forward-thinking financial planning. Imagine enjoying the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve, all while staying one step ahead in a changing world. You've got to do it. Alfie and his team design personalized strategies to strengthen your financial foundation so you can focus on living life on your terms. Ready to find out more? Text VISIT to 239-747-7470. Again, you can call or text 239-747-7470. Schedule your one-on-one consultation today and see how a proactive approach can help you thrive no matter what the market does next. Don't wait. Call or text VISIT to 239-747-7470 right now.
Now, back to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Oh, hi. Hey, anytime you want to watch it, FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook, anytime you want to pick up the phone, we are live 3 to 6 p.m. each and every day on this great radio station and across the social media universe. You can call 866-588-8303. That's the phone number, 866-588-8303. Whatever you want to talk about. We're cool. All right, let's find out what's going on right now. This is the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's my top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Drew's top 5. Number 5.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
Huh. You know, it's a weird thing about Democrats. They seem to love the V word, the violence word. I don't understand it, but it seems like something they continue to do. So that's Governor Pritzker, who decided that he was going to do what Democrats typically do. Listen, I don't like to say it, but it seems true. Inciting a little bit of violence against Trump supporters, got to take to the streets so that, quote, Republicans cannot have peace. That's what Democrats say. That's what they seem to want to do. And it doesn't matter. It's almost like elections. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. They just keep doing what they do.
Number 4.
The season started off slow, but you soon caught fire with your great coach inspiring you, and you got the ball to your superstar running back who I met yesterday. And I want to tell you, he's a handsome guy, but I wouldn't want to tackle him. Saquon Barkley. Where's Saquon? He's good. I got to know him a little bit. I offered him a ride on Air Force One because I was coming down. And usually they say, no, I don't think so. He said, I'll take it, sir.
So there's the president of the United States welcoming the world champion Philadelphia Eagles, NFL, to the White House. And the social media universe yesterday, crazy because Saquon Barkley is with the president on Air Force One. Is that right? And he was on the plane with him. You can't do that. And he's like, he's a great guy. We had a lot of fun. It was really nice. He said yes. It's a very cool thing. Calm down, lefties. Calm down.
Number 3.
Whoa. So what you're hearing is something that you can't see, but I will describe it. On I-95 in Jacksonville, a expert reptile wrangler
Never in my wildest dreams.
grabbed a gigantic alligator off I-95. How big was this alligator? He was It was an alligator crossing I-95 and finding himself blocked by the median. He couldn't move, and this guy in bare feet, a wrangler named Dragic, that sounds about right, came in. 10-foot alligator along the interstate. And if you were watching the video there at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, you saw the guy wrangling this alligator and then getting him in the truck and a little bit of a woo as he got it in there. And that is, and in bare feet, no less. You know, I will say this proudly and succinctly, and only in Florida.
Number 2.
On the headline, that's a misleading headline. Okay, 3 U.S. citizens, ages 4, 7, and 2, were not deported. Their mothers, who are legally in this country, were deported. The children went with their mothers. If those children are U.S. citizens, they can come back into the United States if there's their father or someone here who wants to assume them. But ultimately, who was deported was their mothers who were here illegally. The children just went with their mothers. But it wasn't like, you guys make it sound like ICE agents kicked down the door and grabbed the 2-year-old and threw him on an airplane. That's misleading. Yeah. That's just not true.
I got to tell you, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is on fire, as the kids like to say. I mean, he has been awesome since he's been the Secretary of State, going on to these talk shows and just laying it down. So you had the narrative out there, the left doing what they do, and this story that everybody had. NPR had the headline, U.S. judge says 2-year-old apparently deported to Honduras, quote, with no meaningful process. It's not what happened. You had an illegal who had a 2-year-old child in this country, and she got deported. And so rather than go, hey, Junior, here you go. Here's a couple of bucks. You're on your own. It's okay. Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And leaving the child here and leaving because nobody would do that. She got deported. Baby goes with her. And everybody's like, oh, look at that. No. This is what people who have children do. They care about their kids, so they go with them. It's an unfortunate thing that the parent came here illegally and had a baby in the country, and they're U.S. citizens. Well, they're a U.S. citizen, but they can leave with the parent. You would want them to go with them, wouldn't you?
Number 1.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump.
I'm going to stop for a second there. There he is. There's Shri, Representative Shri. I don't know your name. Nobody's ever heard of this guy. He's a Michigan Democrat, a representative who somehow was like, I don't know if everybody knows this, but we all really, as Democrats, would love to be able to impeach the president. Yeah, but we can't do it because we don't have the majority, and we're just kind of wasting our time. Who do we get to do it? Let's get Shri to do it. Shri won't do it. He hates everything. Hey, he liked it. Hey, Shri. Anyway, there's Shri. Shri, who I can't pronounce the last name, and Shri is a Democrat. They're in Michigan, and Shri said, "Hey, I got 7 articles of impeachment here." So yeah, they're doing the whole impeachment of Trump thing. It's going to be a thing.
Drew's top 5.
They're really doing it. Well, at least they filed the articles of impeachment. Shri did it, and so yeah, they want to impeach him. The court said Kilmar Garcia must be allowed to return. Trump ignored the Constitution. No, that's not exactly what happened. But he's got 7 different reasons why he should be impeached. And just stand in line, Shri. There's a lot. You got a lot of Democrats in front of you that want to do the same thing. But apparently you got pushed to the head of the line. And I think the American people voted on all of this. I think they've been through this already. It's like really, it's not really gonna happen. And by the way, can we go back to I just want to go back to the shot. So, if you're not watching at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble X, and Facebook, I don't know how to describe this, but first of all, that is quite an impressive set he's sitting behind. It's like a big giant screen. It's like one of those ones you would see if you're in the state of Florida. It's like if you're like on iDrive, and I'm trying to think of if there's one of these places on iDrive. If you're on iDrive, you're in Orlando, and you're a tourist. I know I say tourist, it drives my wife crazy. Tourist, not tourist, a tourist. And You're like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had a fake set of like in front of the Supreme Court and the Capitol building behind us, and we could sit there almost like a reporter, like a fake TV. This is like a set that you would see there. It's almost. I don't want to say it's cartoonish, but the whole thing is cartoon. I mean, you see what I'm talking about. It's like it doesn't seem real, but it is. So anyway, they're going to continue to do this. They're not going to stop. One of the things that they did yesterday, well, over the weekend, was the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Of course, President wasn't going. The media is there, just like Hollywood, to pat themselves on the back. We're awesome. We're great. I know Trump's terrible, right? But we're great. Zeke Miller is with the Associated Press. He's a White House correspondent. And he had something to say to the media yesterday, and I got to tell you, I wasn't shocked. It was funny. It was funny because it was like surreal what this guy was talking about, and I want to see if I can play some of this. So remember, this is the White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is the media who knew all along that Joe Biden was in no condition to be president of the United States. Everybody knows it. They knew it. And he said,
from the White House to the town of White House, Texas, it's a real place, Peoria to the Persian Gulf, we at AP remain committed as ever to accurate, independent, nonpartisan journalism, to carrying light the world over.
Okay, so that's the first thing he said, which is like, that's pretty funny. And now I had a clip, and I got to see if I can find it. And of course, when you need it, you can't find it. But there was, I've got it. All right, so again, that was the dude from the AP who was like, we shine a light. We're awesome. We're fantastic. Then Alex Thompson comes up. He's with Axios, and he's got a different angle on the media and what they did with Joe Biden as president of the United States. And I almost can't believe this. It was like did this really happen? And then you got to be kidding, right, dude? Because you knew all along, you liar.
President Biden's decline and its cover-up by the people around him is a reminder that every White House, regardless of party, is capable of deception.
Okay, so he starts it out with, man, they deceived us. They're capable of it.
But being truth tellers also means telling the truth about ourselves. We, myself included, missed a lot of this story.
You missed a lot of the Biden's not competent enough to be president. And not just that, but people behind the scenes were running the show. You missed it?
And some people trust us less because of it. We bear some responsibility for faith in the media being at such lows.
You bear more than a little bit. You bear all of it. You knew the whole time, and you wouldn't report on it. And you even said that when people were saying things like, Joe Biden is not running the show. He's not competent. There's something really wrong here. There's a mental decline going on. There's a lot of things that are... You called us crazy and... and there's a smattering of applause like, look at us. We're together at a really fancy dinner and we love each other and we admit when we make mistakes. Because we don't usually make these kind of, whatever. Seriously?
I say this because acknowledging errors builds trust, and being defensive about them further erodes it.
Again, this is a lefty national political correspondent of Axios, Alex Thompson.
We should have done better. I believe our mission is vital in a world where people are struggling to figure out what's true, and people with power are not telling the truth.
You're right. Joe Biden the Biden White House, the Obama White House. You can go right down the line, all the lefties that lied to you. You, meaning people that are watching this program and listening to the sound of my voice. Not the media, because the media was in on all of it. They knew it the whole time. They were protecting the left. They were protecting Democrats. They know it. And now that they have no credibility, that they've completely lost credibility, and they realize that there are places to go, like Florida's Voice, truth-telling locations who are going to be honest about their opinions, like me, and the news, and they're losing their grip. Now all of a sudden it's like, we should have done better. Too late.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council. Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. Look, if you're looking to take advantage of today's pro-business environment and strengthen your financial future, certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend and his team at Advantage Retirement Group have got you covered. They specialize in advanced tax strategies, risk management, and retirement planning, all aimed at helping high net worth investors like you thrive. Now, Alfie wants to share those insights with you with his book, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway. It's packed with practical tips and forward-thinking strategies to help you make the most out of your hard-earned wealth. Ready to get your free copy? Text BOOK to 239-747-7470. That's 239-747-7470. Don't wait. Learn how to capitalize on that pro-business opportunities that are out there right now and secure the confident retirement you deserve. Once again, text BOOK to 239-747-7470 right now, and let Alfie Townsend and Advantage Retirement Group help guide you toward a stronger, more confident financial future.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
I leaned in to take a sip, and I noticed that something hit me on the forehead, and I looked at my husband like, what was that? And when I turned around, I saw the snake in my margarita, and I just jumped away from the bar at that point. It was moving. It started wrapping around my straw. They grabbed a stick trying to get it, and I was just like, please don't let it go in my purse. Another man that was having dinner on the other side of the bar came, and he grabbed it and took it out. I left shaking, like I was traumatized.
Traumatized? All right, so that's a woman in Virginia says she was traumatized after she found a baby snake in a margarita at a Mexican restaurant. What happened? So it got through an air conditioner, fell from the ceiling, bounced on her forehead, landed in her drink, and that's her explaining what happened. I don't know. Well, maybe it's part of the festivities of the restaurant. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. What's the big deal? All right, so the snake falls in the drink. So I don't know. When I see it, it's a baby snake, falls in the drink. It'd be like, whoa, well, this is kind of cool. I don't know. So she's traumatized. Oh, boy. I mean, I don't know what you do after that. There's a lot of animal stories out there lately that we in Florida can relate to. I mean, maybe not a baby snake from a ceiling, although you might personally have stories like that. Maybe not falling from a ceiling, but maybe somewhere at your yard. You know, we're used to stories like this in the state of Florida. Forgive us. We've got alligators knocking on people's doors. We've got bears entering people's homes and eating lunch. We got all kinds of stuff like that going on here. And we even have this one. Well, this wasn't from Florida, but boy, can I relate.
We seem to have a vandal in our neighborhood. I'm describing him as, 18 to 24 inches tall, wearing black and white with a red hat. The woodpecker showed up and landed on the windshield wipers of the RV in our yard and was looking at his reflection. And we're like, you know what? I bet he was the one that damaged the mirrors as well.
Yeah, and that happens. That even happens here in Florida. I know it happens because you hear the woodpeckers every once in a while. And then just the other day, I was talking with my son and we heard something hitting against the glass, and that's what it was. It was a woodpecker. You ever get that, D? When the woodpeckers, you hear them and they'll tap at a windshield or they tap on something that they see their reflection in, because that's a thing.
Yeah, the window frames.
Yeah, they get territorial. So that's that time of year. It's mating season. Then they see their reflection and they're like, hey, they get out of here. And so they start attacking, that kind of thing. What did it hit for you? What was it that you mentioned?
Like the window shield.
Right, the window shields. Right, window shields and the glass. Yeah. So you know what we have to do as good environmentalists and good stewards of the planet? We got to get rid of anything that reflects. Glass, swimming pools, windshields, puppies. We got to get rid of all of it. I just brought the puppies up because I heard the puppy, and that's okay. Puppies having fun over there in the studio on the other side of the glass. We have a very welcoming workplace here where we allow the puppy to roam free and chew at anything and everything except what it's supposed to chew. Is he chewing okay today? How's he chewing right now?
He's a little wild over here today.
He's a little wild. I know when he's a little wild because I'll ask for D on the break and I'm looking at the glass and it's like, there's no D there. So that's all right. Good stuff. All right. So listen, thanks for listening to the program, watching the program at FL Voice News on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook. We've got a big lineup this week. We got a lot going on as we are not in the glide path as we thought for the end of the legislative session. Unfortunately, we thought it might happen, but no. There's the talk of it extending into who knows how long. A couple of things did take place today, the final week, and as they're making some of these bills head to the governor's desk, the dangerous dogs bill looks like it's heading to the House for that final vote. Looks like the firearm access for law enforcement and military expanded, heading to the governor's desk, and a few other things we'll talk about this week. It's Florida's Voice.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org.
You're listening to Florida's Voice with Drew Steele.